and interact with commentary. A victim.
We already have one?
Yeah.
We're going to start working on their mental state right now.
I would start destabilizing him.
Ripping and tearing.
So you know, nobody has ever survived that game.
You're not like a psychologist or anything, are you? Just a lawyer?
Oh,
I like this.
Easy picking.
Just a
Easy
lawyer.
pickings, huh, Chef?
Yeah, we love them.
his daughter and son-in-law are lawyers. He's used to wrangling with them.
Yeah, they always say lawyers think differently. Doesn't mean good.
Right, just different. Just
Okay. Are we on YouTube yet, Sean? We're YouTube. Yes. Good morning, YouTube. For all of you, the camera here, we're live on YouTube every time we do the show. So you could have actually stayed in bed and just watch us. The only
Would that
thing
be more
the only
fun?
thing is we're not bringing breakfast to your bed. Not yet.
That could be
A la carte.
a VIP service.
Exactly. And for a mere $250, you too could get breakfast in bed.
It'd be fun. Have everybody? No.
Breakfast in bed. Who was singing that? That's a song. Fun. Who sings Breakfast in Bed? Oh. Oh yeah, maybe. Maybe it sounds just like that. Yeah, you're right.
You're not
Actually,
doing, you're not doing
you're
trivia, right?
perfectly
She's
right.
doing trivia. Oh, okay, good.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're staying out of the trivia. For sure.
Chrissy Hines.
Yeah. That's a great song.
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know it.
Chrissy Hines from Pretenders.
You're killing me. All right, welcome to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. It's a big day here today, St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yes.
I had my first corned beef dinner last night with Miss Pamela.
Yep.
So the weekend is started. Like the whole.
Tremendous cabbage.
Well, as part of my test of the week, I'll ask you a question about that.
Okay, that's good. I like that. I'm Tom Douglas, owner of several joints around town, including the soon-to-open Palace Kitchen.
Yay!
And
Oh my God!
Lola
Oh my
downstairs.
God! People have been waiting by the front door.
Serious Pie. It's going to be, we have a lot of things going right now. We continue to build back to where we were pre-COVID. It's exciting to be getting going down that road. How about you, Chef?
To rebuild is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I would prefer just to build new, but rebuilding is fine.
Yes, I understand.
And people say, why are you doing that? It's like, well, I have leases in place. I've been paying hundreds of thousands of dollars on dead leases as we wait to get, or try to get these joints open. So it's like, that's why I do that.
Right. No, okay, of course. Yeah, and I'm just a chef in the hat, consulting if
Yes.
you need. I have a spot at the airport that I'm consulting on called Lulu and Concourse B. And other than that, famous radio show for 22 years with this famous guy called Tom Douglas.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
What a life.
Saturday and Sunday on Cairo 97.3 FM.
We're thrilled to be here. We have a very lively audience today. They're all
Yeah.
here for a little breakfast. Did any of you actually pay, or did you all just sneak in?
They snuck in.
They snuck in.
No
Pamela
weapon.
is such an easy card that
Easy.
way. You're an easy mark that way.
Totally easy.
We'll be with you for 2 hours today. You can catch us live in your kitchen or in your garden or in your car, wherever you happen to be, or you can podcast us and join. A woman that was here last week said she walks her dog to our show every week. And then the only thing I could picture was, when the dog poops and you have to like reach down with your bag and get the poop.
No.
And then I was thinking, and then she's listening to our show and it's like, I don't know about
Why'd
this.
you go there?
Why did I go there? I
Yeah.
don't know. There.
Exactly. It was
Uh,
nice that walking the dog was
I like
plenty.
walking the
That was
dog part.
plenty.
Yeah.
Michelle Lee, who you probably know as a newscaster here in town, is going to zoom in and talk to us about a not-to-be-missed event at What She Said, Food, Beverage, and Bosses here at the W Hotel on March 23rd. How do they get tickets and what it's all about? I think it's a good concept. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good panel that she's engaging.
Quick and easy videos from Costco with Creative Development Manager Jane Shucklin is here. And she brought muffins.
Yeah. What a sweetie.
How about that?
Love someone who
that?
brings anything.
She must have had Annie's cooking before that she brought her own breakfast.
Oh,
Oh, that was a shot.
Oh.
Uh, Spice Walla folks are here. A gorgeous recipe for spring vegetables. What's that all about, Pamela? Why it's a very esoteric.
Well, I got some arugula and sorrel going in my yard,
Uh-huh.
and I'm
Already you're picking?
Yeah. Well, I bought plants, starts, so I could
She
start
bought a-
eating.
She bought a plant.
Who buys a start of arugula?
No, wait.
I
She bought a plant. She bought it. She put it in the ground,
Yeah.
and then she cut it.
and then I started eating it. It's amazing.
You know, the state considers arugula a noxious weed. That's how
Right.
much it grows.
I just crave
You
it.
can say that if you don't have that all over your garden like I do.
Did you box it in, or is it like in a pot,
It's
or
in
did
a
you
pot.
let it grow wild?
No, it's in a pot.
It's in a pot. Good.
But the trivia this week is themed on spring vegetables, and we're doing a spring vegetable recipe from
It
a
is-
very famous cookbook.
I'm just saying, it's just a little early.
I
It's
know, but
number
I'm-
one,
I'm
it's
psyched.
winter still. I know people want to jump into spring. Number two is a spring vegetable kind of starts growing at the beginning of spring, and you can harvest it by.
I know.
Okay, fine. She's got her own garden. She knows.
I know.
She
And of
knows because she's making it up. There's nothing in the backyard right now except chives. She knows
It's a spring chive recipe.
exactly.
And of course, they're going to play our. The other thing that are coming up are those little things where you could pick the stamens and have some saffron. The
Crocus.
crocus are coming up. Maybe that's you should spend your retirement time picking the stamens out of crocus,
Didn't-
Good luck.
one at a time.
It's a very slow job.
Yeah. Of course, we're gonna. Whoa! Of course, we're gonna finish our show with Rub with Love, food for thought, tasty trivia. We have a victim in the audience picked out already to take on. She is a lawyer, chef.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna help today.
Oh, I like it. I like it. What law school did you go to? Seattle U. My daughter went to UW, so
All
I'm
right.
just saying. Taste of the week, chef. What's your taste of the week?
My test of the week is a question for you. You talked about brisket and Sympathies Day, and I have two beautiful little brisket in my refrigerator that I'm going to process today.
Process.
well,
you
process
can't
as in
start
I'm gonna
corning
make it
today for
I have
Friday.
some friends coming over on Friday,
Yeah.
on Saturday, pardon me, and I want to start processing it today. As in, I'm going to soak it, and then I'm going to dry it, and I'm going to braise it.
What do you mean? So you're just doing a plain brisket. You're not doing a
Correct.
corned brisket.
Well, actually, no, it is corn. It came with. I bought it at Metropolitan Market. It came with the.
yeah.
you know,
So
the
what do you mean
little-
you're going to soak it? You don't soak it.
Well, I'm going to soak it to get rid of some of
No, chef.
the. No,
He knows
No,
how to
chef.
cook.
it's already
Was
in.
our brisket good last night?
In fact, it was.
In fact, it was. You don't have to soak it.
It's already like in a liquid that I'm not very keen about. So I was
The
going to
little
rinse
pink,
it off.
The pink liquid.
Yeah, I like to
Okay, chef.
rinse that off. And
Who am I to tell what
No,
is
no, but I'm
often
asking you-
considered
I'm
the
asking
best
you-
chef in
I'm asking
Seattle
your kitchen.
how to make corned
I'm asking
beef?
you a question.
Who am I?
yeah, exactly. We won't go there.
And corned
I was-
beef isn't really even traditional. We found out last night. Bacon and potatoes was traditional. They couldn't afford the brisket.
Right.
In
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that. But regardless, braised. I was going to use a little bit of my homemade chicken stock, and on the side I have cabbage, carrots, and potatoes and turnips.
Lovely. You should
Braised.
try cooking them. Last night mine came out a little al dente.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to cook them because I'm going to roast them.
Yeah.
All of them,
I thought
including the cabbage.
I just had my oven on a little low, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, garnish with horseradish mustard,
Mm-hmm.
Dijon mustard and horseradish together. That makes them good kicking.
Mike's husband last night, Pam's husband, Mike, last night, I was having a good time with. He had the grater and he had the fresh horseradish, like carrot.
Sure.
And he was trying to grate it and he just couldn't figure it out on the microplane grater. It's like, okay, let's start here. Put the grater down.
He was flummoxed.
He was flummoxed about that last night. Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
here's what I do. I take it right out of the package
Right.
because all that pink stuff is all good. That goo is delicious.
Sure.
And then I prefer if they cure the corned beef with the spices on it.
Right.
For some reason, they're trying to be little. In case
I'm not
somebody
sure what
doesn't
they're
want,
trying to
like
do.
mustard seed.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. But anyway, and I prefer to put a little bit more pickling spice on than what they actually add.
Right.
And then I put it in a covered casserole, nothing else. Cook it low and slow, 250 degrees for 3.5 hours till it's about 200 degrees. Pull it out, let it rest naturally, and then all that jus, all the water comes out, and I pour that over the roasting vegetables with duck fat and butter, and go from there.
Wow.
So I'm just saying you don't have to do all that rinsing thing if you don't want to,
Right.
But you just don't add salt to the rest of your vegetables.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. That stuff is pretty salty. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of salt going in. That pink goo is really from the pink salt that they cure the meat with.
Yeah.
So. Up next, Michelle Lee shares information on the upcoming event she is moderating called What She Said, Food and Beverage Bosses. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. All right.
Oh, she's ready to go.
Can we check her sound to see if Did you make those, Chef? They look fantastic.
Oh, here's
Great
Michelle.
job, Annie.
Oh, nice, Annie. How'd you make that? How'd you make them so cold?
So you can, everybody probably recognizes Annie, who's the director here, and our chef.
We got Michelle up early.
And Michelle's ready to rumble. And you see Sean.
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
It's Thierry Rotiro, chef in the hat. I don't know if you can see me.
Yes.
Can you see me?
You're the first person that's ever yawned live on our show.
I didn't know I was like up, so whoopsie. But just for the record, I've been up since 2:00 this morning.
Ah,
so.
yeah. Tell someone who cares. Come on. Oh, that's funny. 2:00. What the heck? Are you on the early news now?
Yeah, morning news.
Oh my God.
What city are you in?
Well, I'm in St. Louis today, but I'll be in Seattle on Monday, so Tuesday.
Why? Oh, for the event next year.
That's our producer talking, Michelle. Why? What would ever make you come to Seattle?
You know what, though? I was in Seattle just last week, too, so it's been twice this month.
Why don't you just get your job back here and come move back here so you don't have to keep
Oh my
traveling so much?
I love Seattle. It's my favorite place.
I haven't been to St. Louis since I was took the little tube up into the arch, the little pods that you go up into the arch. When
Last time I was in St.
moved
Louis.
across country in 1976.
Oh my God!
Last time I was in St. Louis was in 1981. I lost I had a pair of boots. Stopped at a stop sign.
Lost a pair of boots at a stop sign?
One boot. I lost it at a stop
Was it
sign
like
in St. Louis.
Lampton
I know it's a
summer
random
vacation?
story,
What happened?
but I was on my way to Los Angeles with Cyril. We were traveling and our van was overheating and there was a whole kind of things going on. And somewhere in the chaos of everything at a light, I lost a boot out of my two boots. It fell off the van and I lost one of my boots. That's the last time I was in St. Louis. So if you ever find it, let me know.
I'll let you know. That's awful. You know what? St. Louis is a cool city. Anytime you want to come, I will host you. I think there's some great places.
Nice.
Be careful what you wish for.
You know, when I was there, I also did the Budweiser tour, which is you always went up to the arch and then you did the Bud tour. Those are my two things that I did in St. Louis.
That is true.
1976. It was a good year. Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to get up into the arch. It's not like the Space Needle, you know.
No, you go in these little pods and it kind of just, So you haven't done it?
I did it when I was 14.
Yeah.
So I did it probably in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Are
I
you
just
just
like
trying to
that.
tell us right now how much younger you are than us? Is that what you're trying to do?
I think
You
she
know
just
what? Though?
did.
I work with people who are like 24, 23.
Yeah.
That makes you feel really, decent in a newsroom.
All right, let's do this, Michelle.
Okay.
Welcome back. It's the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo. We're coming to you from the beautiful Hotel Andra in downtown Seattle, back in the Hot Stove Studios. We do tons of things here, classes and public classes, private classes, wedding. I just booked a wedding rehearsal dinner here, and we're going to have a dumpling challenge. And each of the families who don't know each other, but now they're being forced into a relationship through marriage, are going to vie for the dumpling challenge title. Joining us by Zoom, Michelle Lee is here. You might know her from the local news here in Seattle. She's now residing in St. Louis, but she's doing a cool event here in Seattle on March 23rd. She's hosting an event called What She Said, Food beverage, and bosses at the W Hotel. Michelle, welcome to our show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm such a big fan of yours,
You don't look
also,
that big, Michelle, on Zoom. I'm just got to tell you.
You know what? I think we have to say what she said. I think you could be like, yeah, what she said. That's how you know,
Exactly.
tell
I'm sorry.
the
I
channel.
didn't-
What she said.
I have 6 sisters. I know all about that.
Yeah.
So tell us about this and why you're involved and what we can look forward to.
Well, I'm really excited because the W hosts this event, and it's kind of a safe place for women to kind of get together and just talk about things that are good and challenging in the food and beverage and hospitality industry. And we're just going to sit around and not just sit around, but we're going to have a really nice panel discussion with some women who are doing, honestly, some really amazing things in Seattle. And I'm just really proud to be able to be a part of that.
Well, there's a few women on the list that I actually know personally through.
Who do you know?
Well, Boff, certainly from Tillicum, was
Yeah.
a sous chef at Palace Kitchen a million years ago. And if you look at my first book, Seattle Kitchen, she's, we were filming in the kitchen one of the days that she was working there, and she's all over the book, which is super fun. And Holly is, we still work with Holly today, but she was a waiter downstairs at Lola for a bit. And Angela Shen is going to be there from Savor Seattle's and kind of started the whole food tour scene in Seattle. But I'm curious. I thought she had sold her company, so I'm curious what she's doing these days.
Yeah, well, she's doing that. She's kind of back into it. And then she's also doing wild food tours. I don't know if you ever follow her on social media, but she's like into foraging. So it's going to be really cool to catch up with what she's doing.
Uh-huh. And then, of course, the head brewer from Ike is going to be there. Leslie Shore, who was on our show not long ago. And Alyssa, I don't know how to say her. Lenonen, yeah. Who has just done incredible things with Gourmando catering and events.
Yeah, she's done incredible.
It's really incredible how she's been able to stay afloat during the pandemic, the challenges. There was a story that I watched on her. I think she was like on Monday when we came into the office. By Wednesday, things had totally changed and we had shut down. So just pivoting, I think, is a really big thing for a lot of people too.
Yeah, we're taping this on March 15th, and literally 3 years ago on the 15th of March, we went from 865 employees to 9 overnight, and I had a little cheers to getting out of the pandemic at our dinner last night. So, women in the industry, it's been discussed over the last 5-10 years about sometimes the trauma that happens in the restaurant business, the old boys network, the
abuse,
all of those things. Are we starting to come out the other end of that? Not that didn't happen, but as far as coming to solutions, do you think?
I think we're definitely going to be talking about that. I think that so many people share experiences no matter what industry they are in. But certainly that will be a topic.
Mm-hmm.
And, I actually haven't heard from everyone yet to hear how they feel about, kind of moving forward, some actionable change and solution. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, Tom. But just in general, I think a lot of people are saying how they've come up and how they've managed to succeed, and despite so many challenges.
Yeah.
I think we have definitely in our industry. I think we have progressed. I mean, I know in my 40 years of cooking or whatever since I've been in this industry, we have definitely progressed, and thank God there's been
as in men or the industry.
The industry,
okay.
Men in general. I'm a man, so I'm going to speak on the men basis.
Curious.
But I think that we are much more aware today, and we're much more open to talk about things that we never talked about when I was younger. When I was younger, that was just the way it was. Today, we don't accept that kind of behavior just because that's the way it was. So that's, I think, the big change is we're putting it on the table and at least bring it up to the forefront. And we also don't allow, as leaders, we don't allow the same behavior for more people than we used to allow. When I was younger, that was allowed. Now it's not allowed
trash
anymore.
Talking. I mean, a lot of the
trash talking, abuse,
sexist,
physical, mental, whatever it was, that was allowed, and that was gone it was just looked upon. Well, it was done to me, so I guess I can do it to someone else. That stuff doesn't fly anymore. So
Yeah.
I think we're
I
getting
think
more and more aware, and just because people are talking about it, it brings it up to the forefront, and therefore people expect changes.
Yeah, and I think, also there's just so much solidarity, and people have to have not only like ask for space, but then also get space from their coworkers, and coworkers have to make space. I think that's all really important. I think another big topic that we're going to be talking about is just equity in general. How do we get equity across the board? How do we grow as human beings and be in different seasons in our lives and still do the work that we really love? I think that's a challenge for women, especially when you think about how these last 3 years have been because of the pandemic. A lot of people had to take major steps back.
Well, Pamela was our CEO for close to 15 years at our company, and I know I learned a ton from her. Just stupid stuff that I was doing that I never really thought twice about. Nothing physical as far as some of these things that you hear, the touching, the groping, is nothing like that, but certainly verbally, I would just say stupid stuff and not even think about it. What did you find in your 15 years with us in our industry?
Well, the company's made up of a lot of thoughtful people, so we all learn from each other to recognize and respect each person's contribution. You have to be a good listener and attentive to who you're speaking. So we grew a lot.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson I took away, especially in being a good leader, is meeting people where they're at, and that's not necessarily gender related, but it's also equity related. As far as understanding, why is this guy late for work 3 times, and we have to write him up, or he's going to get fired or something. Then you kind of dig in, and he's got 3 bus transfers that are unreliable, and he's doing the best he can. He's making $18 an hour, and you just have to understand a little bit about where people are coming from and what their situation is. And that, I think, Pamela helped me a ton to get to place to get to.
What I think too, that I think we'll find, just being in a space in Seattle is such a great place to really learn from each other. I always feel like it's like you live a DEI lifestyle in Seattle, so people do recognize that there are challenges and things that we have to overcome. But one thing that I always loved about Seattle is that people are willing to work towards solutions and listen. And I just really love that about the city and about the whole vibe. And so
Right.
I feel like we're going to have some good solutions when we come out of this panel too.
All right, that's on March 23rd at the W Hotel. It's all about listening, learning, connecting with female bosses in Seattle's food and beverage industries. And Michelle Lee is going to be the moderator. Look forward to it, Michelle.
Thank you. Look forward to coming back.
Yay!
Best of luck in Memphis.
I can't wait to see you ride in on a Clydesdale.
Yeah, I already have. Drinking a big Budweiser.
All right. Up next, Costco's quick and easy videos with Jane Chucklin on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right, all right, here.
Where do you want me?
Good morning. Love those hair.
Thank you.
Big lion mane there.
It's,
Just in
it's-
case.
It's that week.
Just in case.
Yeah.
You're good.
I don't even own anything green. And I'm part Irish.
That's green? Oh, yeah.
You look like you might be a little bit,
My olive green.
Oh, yeah,
Not
yeah.
my lime green. Okay?
Jane, you look like you might be a little bit more than part Irish.
I am not Irish at all.
Is that true?
That
I
is
would never have
true.
guessed that.
If you asked me, I would tell you I think I'm Italian, but I'm not that either.
With a name like that?
Did you do 23andMe to know exactly what you are?
Yeah, I'm Eastern European. I'm Jewish by.
Did you know you were Jewish?
I did know that.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just curious. I didn't know I was Swedish. It turns out I'm part Swedish.
Okay, my husband from the audience, he didn't know he was part Finnish. So you do find out weird things, right?
Yeah.
But 23andMe told me I was more Jewish than I even knew I was, and I knew I was fully Jewish.
Uh-huh.
So how could you be more than that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
how can you be more than 100%?
Well, that's just what happened.
I had this argument with my kid a few years back when he said, well, I got 110% on my. And I said, who came up with this? Who's making more than 100%? You know why it's called 100%?
Why?
No.
Do you know that you cannot physically have more than 100%? That's not possible, right? 100% is a whole thing.
It's a whole thing,
You
right?
can't have a whole plus.
So
Unless she's working on 1,000% scale.
No, but you're looking at
that's a good
I'm just saying.
swing, right?
that was 100%.
A batting average is based on 1,000%. When you're hitting 300, you're
but
an
you
all-star.
can't 110 out of 100. That's not possible.
Thank you, Sean.
No one's arguing, Chef.
I was arguing with my kid, but somehow the teacher gives them an extra 10%. I was like, where did that come from? That 10%?
Well, maybe he did an extra problem. He got 110%. Because sometimes there's
let's not go there.
bonus problems on
I'm
the
not
bottom of the test, right?
That makes no
I'm with
logical
you.
sense.
Yeah.
There we go.
Be happy for your child.
Oh, I'm happy. I'm just trying to promote him for life. As in-
Everyone gets a trophy in this
as
country.
in,
I don't know if you know that. Or
yeah,
not.
exactly. That's the
I'm
point.
just trying
Not
to
everyone
launch
gets a
mine
trophy
for
in a.
life.
That's not true. Anyway, on a better note, welcome.
What did you think of Macron's decree today?
Well, I don't know. We're going to see how well that goes.
Did he
This
say
is-
I'm going forward?
this
No
is a
matter
con-
what? Keep
Yes.
burning garbage in the streets,
Yeah.
but we're
Yeah.
doing this?
This
Yeah.
is a country where 2 more hours a day will kill them.
Yeah.
Every time I go back to France, I say, I don't want to hear a word. No whining allowed. You have no idea how good you have it.
Had it.
Well, had it. Yes, you're right. Now they get 2 more extra years to work. Oh my God. God forbid.
Happening here too. I think they're going to change it to 70 years. My understanding. Have you heard that?
Yeah, you know, that's
Yeah.
a rumor.
Yeah.
That's a rumor.
That's usually a rumor starts so you can get ready for
So
the
that's
truth.
right, right? So, baby steps, right?
Exactly.
So, Jane, let's talk a little bit about you and your relationship with Costco and things like that. And then in the second segment, we're going to jump into the most watched videos and why you like them and why they connect with
Got it.
the people.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Hot Stove Society Show. Woohoo! Everyone is eating a delicious blueberry muffin from Costco this morning. Thank you for sharing the wealth that is Costco in our neighborhood.
Well, you're very welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I would have brought a French pastry because I knew I was going to be meeting you. But what'd you think of that muffin?
I don't know.
He ate the whole
I
thing.
love
It's
it.
all gone.
I
Yeah.
ate the whole thing. It's a
You know, Chef Terry, if you want something good, you have to pay him. He won't. He's a shill,
yeah. If you pay me, I'll eat anything. Is what Tom is
except
saying.
for McDonald's.
That's true. I won't go there.
I'm with him.
I don't have to.
We're
go
happy to have Jane Shucklin here, the creative and business development manager with Costco's Quick and Easy Videos. She's going to be here for 2 segments, and it's these videos are a super handy source of inspiration for getting meals on the table. So, we all know that Costco has been around now for what, 40 years?
Yeah, well, a little bit longer if you kind of take the
If you take
price
the price
club equation in there. That's right.
Yeah.
About 46 years.
Uh-huh. And it's been interesting to watch it morph and not morph over the years, right? You've been there. I remember talking to you at class the other day.
39 years.
39 years, so almost since the beginning.
I
Yeah.
know.
Congratulations.
It's hard to believe when I'm only 45 years
I
old.
know.
Yeah,
right?
you
I
just
know,
said
I know.
that.
that
Such a
came
big-
right
Well,
out
that's
of the
how
hospital.
Costco got started. It was all child labor. So
Well, And today they couldn't do that.
I-
But years ago, it was permissible, right?
no. So, immediately Costco's fame was in hot dogs, right? You get the cheap hot dog with the pop and all
We
that.
never say cheap. We say inexpensive.
Inexpensive. Yes, exactly.
And yes, our $1.50 always and forever.
Right. And, for me, I've watched Costco because I knew Jeff and Jim and played golf with them and stuff like that. But when you hear the stories on the side as you're golfing, that's one of the great things about golf is that it's a leveling field out there. You start to deal with guys that are billionaires and the guys like me, right? So, but you all enjoy the company. Costco is such an organic, true beast to itself, is what I always was amazed. Jeff Brotman, who was the president at the time, always said everything was about the members. He never wavered on the golf course. There was never any tongue in cheek. There was nothing. They were dedicated to the members. And
Well-
I was just always amazed by how true that was.
And it still is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all about the member. Anything that we can do to have a great member experience is really what we do.
Hmm.
They're always right. They really are always right. There are
Come
there are
on now.
blood, right? There are soul and heart and blood.
Uh-huh. And so awesome. And you've stuck to that mantra, but as you've gotten bigger and older, you've morphed into these areas of expertise, I'll call them, that are amazing from a food perspective. Number one, you're the biggest wine wholesaler in the world, or retailer in the world right now.
Correct.
Your bakery program is, the size of a football field. It's crazy. You're still selling $1.50 hot dogs.
That's right.
And the
how do
roasted
you-
chicken.
Oh, the
and-
roasted chicken. You can't beat the roasted chicken, right?
Well, I personally would wish they wouldn't pump it up with so much stuff. Personally, I like a little bit more
I'm with you,
organic,
Tom.
plain chicken.
I'm with you.
But the roasted $5 for like a 5
right.
pound. It's not 5 pounds, but it's darn close.
It's darn close.
Yeah, and it's got a seasoning blend, is what I'm saying. It's nothing terrible. I'm just saying I prefer it without the seasoning blend. But how do you figure Costco has been able to maintain this singular focus of members and then changing? I feel like you've changed over into this Kirkland brand, where those brands are considered just as quality as any sort of consumer brand.
Well, if you looked at, by any chance, did anybody watch SNL the other night? Okay, well, SNL did a little segment of Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's walking the red carpet, and they ask her, "What are you wearing?" And she says, "Kirkland by Costco." So you know you made it when you're on SNL, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Our Kirkland signature brand really is, it's near and dear to everybody's heart, including our heart. And really, when you look at it for the price, you cannot beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, the quality is there. The features are there. Our buyers are so astute and how to put together these products that they're just fabulous. You can't beat the price point and the quality. You just can't.
Right. Chef, have you ever take a stroll through Costco?
Yes, and it's usually to go get a nice chest or something of that nature that I need.
And what do you fill it with when you're there?
No.
Because that's the key, right?
My last experience was I went there with somebody who was working with me, and I didn't find the cooler I wanted. I was looking for a specific cooler to do a cater out. And I said, "Okay, well, it's not here. Let's go." And I swear to God, she said, "What do you mean, let's go? We got to go through the store." And I said, "What do you mean we have to go to the store?" I said, "I came here for a nice chest. I didn't come here to buy Costco." And she's like, "You can't live without going through. I mean, look all those deals." And I go, "But I don't need anything." And then she was like completely dumbfounded that I would actually go to Costco for one thing, not find it, and get out.
Well, you know what we used to say about people that did that? At our
We don't want them as
wait,
members.
At our shareholders meeting, the question would always come up: when are you going to put in an express lane? I only want one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jim Sinegal would have that expression on his face that said, "We don't want you to buy one thing.
No, of
we
course,
want
of
you to
course.
have that treasure hunt
I
experience."
understand
Right.
that. And I'm a guy shopping. I'm like going in for one item and I
No,
come
you're
right
Chef
out.
Terry.
Focused.
You're
He's
Chef Terry. You're not a
focused.
regular guy. Most
Not a regular guy.
Most people would go to Costco and not walk in for, number one, they wouldn't walk in for one thing. And number two, they would never come out with nothing.
Okay. Well, I was told it was good cooler at Costco, so I went to Costco.
I mean, we want you to have the cooler and the TV and that rotisserie
Yeah,
chicken.
exactly.
But I don't need
Exactly.
You're
Phil-
you know what? I'm going to take you. I will tour you through
Oh
that
my God, here we
Costco.
go.
Filled with cases of beer.
But I must say, you're right. I've had clothes from Costco. I've had, what else have I had from Costco?
I don't know.
Many
I'm a
di-
Costco fan. I've been a big
I think it's
supporter.
a,
over
I,
the
I
years.
love the
Favorite
idea.
thing.
My favorite thing at
Yeah.
Costco is the rack of lamb.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and I keep them in my freezer for a quick meal. You can cook them from frozen. You just take the plastic off and you pan-sear them rock hard frozen.
Oh, I'm glad you
Still-
mentioned the plastic to take it off.
Yeah, exactly. And you just cook them to the temperature that you want them cooked. You cook
All
at a
right,
little
so-
bit lower temperature,
Okay.
so that if it's rock hard solid, but you can also let it thaws out in a couple hours, and so yeah,
Do you ever walk out with just one thing?
never.
Okay.
Never.
We love you.
Yeah, exactly. And I have no intention of walking out. I go there for the exact purpose you call it, a treasure hunt, because that's exactly what I'm like. I'll buy a bottle of wine. Pam's husband owns a wine shop, but yet I'll still buy a bottle at Costco. If
Well,
it's
you
something
can't
that-
beat the price, right?
It's not about the
And
price
the
so much.
selection.
It's just the joy of consumerism.
That's
I'm a
true.
good shopper.
Yeah, I'm a good shopper too. I mean, I've been to Costco
Chef,
many
you
times.
just said you walked into Costco
Well,
and
I
you
did.
walked
That
out
was right. I
empty-handed.
was trying to give the last time I was at Costco. That didn't work out so well for me because I wasn't there, and I just walked out. But my whole story was more based on the lady that was with me asking me, "You can't live like that," and I
Yeah.
was like, "What do you mean I can't live like that?"
Weren't you fascinated, like when you walk by and see a bag of 1,000 dumplings?
Oh, I'm always fascinating when I go to Costco. Who buys 6 toothbrush? I don't know.
Families.
You do?
Yeah.
But when
Lot-
do you use them? I mean, I don't go through toothbrush that fast, and I
Every
brush my
month, you
teeth
can
twice a
change
day.
it. You can change it right out because our 6 toothbrushes are the same as buying 2 somewhere else, right? So there you go. They're for your guests. You just change them out.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
There you go.
See?
Chef?
I didn't figure that out.
See, there's a
I need
method
somebody to
to our
explain to me
madness.
why.
Well, that's why we're
Because
going to
I don't
go
have a problem
and-
buying it. I'm always like, I don't have, what am I going to do with 6 toothbrush?
Let her speak.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no. We're going to go. I'm going to show you the Costco warehouse,
Okay.
and then I'm going to treat you to a hot dog.
You know what?
There you
I'm
go.
in.
I'm,
Yeah, there
I'm
you
jumping
go.
in on that.
All
Troy.
right.
She's
Yeah,
never been
yeah.
to Costco.
All
I-
right.
But I want to do a commercial for the Kirkland brand because I've had the honor of meeting a gentleman that did a lot of the sourcing for your olive oil for the Kirkland brand.
That's a great story, our olive oil.
It's a great story. And he was one of the first people in America to question the amount of available extra virgin olive oil from Italy because he did the math on how many trees there were. And that led him down the path of saying there's a lot of falsely labeled oil in the world. And I'm going to get to the bottom of it and make sure that the Kirkland brand is authentic, extra virgin Tuscan olive oil. And
That's really
it's
one
just
of our
like-
signature stories.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I have so much respect for the sourcing that your company does for Kirkland. Keep
Well-
it up.
Well, our buyers are brilliant. They really are quite brilliant, and they really look for the best price, the best value, and the best features. We may not always be the cheapest, but when you look at the quality and the features, that's really what you want to when you're price shopping. You really want to take that into consideration.
Pamela used to be a cheesemonger at Di Laurenti's and is amazed that I buy my Reggiano Stravecchio, Reggiano Parmesan from Costco. I
But I'm
keep
jealous of
I
the
keep
size
6 wedges in
pieces
my
that
fridge.
you
I
have.
know.
You know,
Just
the
covet those.
biggest
Okay.
biggest buyer of Conte cheese as well.
On our next segment, we're going to talk to Jane about her videos that she's doing to help make your life easier in the kitchen. And what it's kind of like all recipes, like which ones are the most watched videos? I'm so curious. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
All right, you're on. You're on. I'm going to go.
You know what? We're on. We'll even take Tom with. What do you think? And we'll
It'll
we'll
cost you
make
if you
this
go
a
with
real
me
thing.
because I buy everything. Toilet paper, towels, Reggiano.
I mean, we do
And
buy
then
paper there.
I always buy some prepared foods over in that case because that's something I'm interested someday of hitting it big. Like Costco's selling, I own part of a ranch called Roam Free Ranch in Montana, and Costco's selling our black bean and bison chili. And so I'm just curious what other people are doing in that zone so that I maybe it spurs an idea for me to.
Right.
Well, we'll go. We'll talk. We'll
Yeah.
have fun. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
have fun. I'll give you the inside.
My wife goes to Costco a lot more than I do. But she goes every week, almost every week, to get her car cleaned.
To get her
Goes to-
car cleaned, she goes to Costco.
Yeah, she goes.
Because we have the car wash
yeah.
in
She goes to
Seattle.
the
To get
wholesaler,
your car
the
clean.
flour wholesaler, and she gets her car cleaned and gas.
But you look at flowers, right? You look at, basics like, socks and underwear, and you can't beat our prices on
No,
things.
that's
Where
true.
could you go in and get a $9.99 pair of pants or a $9.99 pair of whatever? You just can't do it.
True.
I walk in now and I look at our produce and I'm at another retailer and I think I can't buy those grapes. I'm getting that many grapes at Costco for what I'm paying here. I can't do it.
Right.
I physically can't.
See,
do
I
it
can.
anymore.
I don't worry about it because to me, sometimes people buy when I do classes or something like. Sometimes people buy things in too big of quantity for what their usage is going to be.
Right.
So they end up with a bottle of soy sauce this big, and it
They
gets
need-
oxidized, and they only use this much a year, and they just because it was Costco, they bought it, and so sometimes you're just.
A waste. Yeah.
I know it's cheaper, but in the long run, it's just not better.
Right.
Buy the big prime brisket at Costco. Buy the small jar of soy sauce at your grocery store.
And I don't disagree with that, but
Yeah.
that's why we put in this program, the Quick and Easy program, because the biggest complaint was we don't know what to do with your sizes.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's show them.
Yeah. I was at Jim's house doing a dinner, and it's just Jim and his wife,
Right.
essentially. I go into the pantry to get something. I don't know. And here's Costco size everything in Jim Senegal's house. It's like, dude, you will never eat 4 bags of Frosted Flakes or whatever it was. It was like,
Well, he walks that talk. I mean, this
Oh,
is
he
his
sure
baby.
does.
He is in the warehouse every week. We
Yeah.
see him all over the place.
yeah, he is intense about Costco and about its members. Yeah. Very impressed. Okay, here we go. We're back with Jane Shuckland here in the Hot Stove Kitchen on Cairo Radio. She's the creative and business development manager with Costco's Quick and Easy videos for 2 segments. And these are handy sources of inspiration. Like when you go into Costco and you buy a pack of 4 steaks or whatever, but you're just 2 of you, 3 are going to go in the freezer, and then you just want to know, okay, I got to use these up. What am I going to do that it's not exactly the same? Your videos kind of go down that path.
Yeah, they do. It's one of the reasons we started the program. About 8 years ago, we saw a lot of videos hitting my Facebook, right,
Mhm.
on how to prepare food. And I thought, gee, you know what? We can do this. Plus, we have a store or a warehouse that you can go in and you can buy it. And the most common complaint was, what do we do with your sizes? We don't know what to do. So we thought we'd show them.
Right.
So we did it as a test program for about a year. And actually, I've got my chef here,
Yay.
Elaine. She's sitting
Hi,
right
Elaine.
in the
Hi,
audience.
Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
Welcome.
Go ahead and wave. In case you throw me a curveball on a food question.
You have a lifeline.
Yeah, I've got, I can call right into the
Smart.
audience. Smart, right?
Smart.
So she's been wonderful. She's been with us since the onset, but we really wanted to tell people, what do you do with our sizes? When you're buying a big flat of peaches,
Right.
what do you do with them? So our mission was quick, easy, and unique. So Elaine puts a spin on everything. So it's not typically your recipe that you may find out there on the internet. And she does a great job.
Mhm.
And so people tune into us on all of our social media platforms, our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, our Pinterest. Plus, we have a landing page on Costco.com where they can find us. And a new video will post every Thursday, sometimes a couple during the week. And we try to be seasonal for everybody, depending what's going into the Costco warehouse. And that's kind of how we do it.
And so can people send their own videos of what they've accomplished with some of your products?
They certainly could respond to
And
our
win,
Facebook.
and win the
do
hot dog.
that. And the hot dog, absolutely. And,
I mean, that's a good contest.
that's a great contest. What do you do with a Costco hot dog? I love that, actually.
No, but what do you do with your stuff and get a hot dog for
Oh,
free?
and get a hot dog for free.
I was trying to get the hot dog for
They're
free.
only $1.50. Don't be so cheap,
I'm,
Shaq.
and I'm
You know
going to
what? You
buy
don't
you
have-
that hot dog.
That's not the point. The point is to win something.
I know it is to win something. years and years ago, we did a cookbook. We did it for
I know, I was
do you
in it.
remember that? You
Yeah,
were in it. You
yeah.
did a forward. I remember that. We did it for 13 years and we gave them away. We gave $1 million and a half away post Thanksgiving weekend, and people loved the cookbook. And we did have members in there sending in their recipes, but we haven't really done that yet with Quick and Easy. But maybe we give
Good
you an
idea.
idea. An
Here we
idea.
go again.
Yeah, I'm with them.
So what are the most popular when you look at allrecipes.com, which was kind of sort of the original recipe online site or close to it. Epicurious, I think maybe was, but they rank their recipes by popularity.
Okay.
And to this day, I think mac and cheese is still the most popular recipe people look up. What about for you guys? What do people
Well,
want to know?
We've done some mac and cheese fried balls that Elaine did, which were quite wonderful.
Fried
you know what?
bowls? Wait,
They were
what?
fried mac and cheese balls. Yeah, they were.
Oh,
that's-
balls.
That
Balls, yeah.
I
sounds
see.
delicious.
Yeah,
Like
they were
like a popcorn ball.
like a popcorn ball. And we
Oh.
actually kind of put it in a cone, kind of looked like that. You know, yeah. I mean, we've done stuff like that. Most popular, people love anything to do with drinks, whether they're cocktail or mocktail. Those are
Really?
always they love it. Smoothies, drinks, they love that kind of
I wouldn't have
stuff.
thought of that.
They
No,
love
me either.
desserts. This is funny. I just did a recipe with emergency, the vitamin C
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
And we put it in a smoothie. We hit over 1 million views like right away. So people love
Wow.
pork. Pork
Uh-huh.
has been really anything with pork. They love pork. 1 million right out of the
Uh-huh.
gate. They love our salmon. We do a lot of salmon right out of the gate. 1 million. We have
Yeah.
no problem getting 1 million views on our Facebook on most of our recipes. We've become really a destination site for people to want to know what to do with the food.
Let's go back to pork for a second. Do you recollect what the
Well,
preparation was that people were so excited about?
Yeah, we did a pork tenderloin with a blood orange
Oh, nice.
glaze.
Yeah.
It was delicious. Elaine, anything else on pork that rings a bell?
Oh, pork
the
carnitas.
pork
Carnitas.
carnitas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So pork has always been really popular
Yeah.
for us.
Now that's exactly to my point. The pork carnitas are things that I might treasure hunt at Costco. All of a sudden you're going down the aisle of prepared food and there's a tray that's got about 4 pounds of pork carnitas in it for about $10. And so that's the kind of thing I would pick up and take home. It's like, is it really good? Is it really worth it? And then they're delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah. And the hard thing about carnitas is that most places won't put the fat in that you need to pan fry it and get it crispy like a carnitas is supposed to be, because everyone's so lean conscious. But it was, I thought, a very authentic product.
Well, some of the other things we do, I'm glad you said that, is sometimes we'll use our kits. We have salad kits and we have all kinds of stuff, and we'll do a really great spin on what else can you do with a salad kit versus a salad. So Elaine has done fried rice, and she's done soups, and she's done all kinds of stuff with our salad kits. So again, unique ways of using Costco product that you wouldn't necessarily think about. We made a date ice cream, soft serve ice cream. 2.2 million views on that. People went nuts. Now, I don't know if I'm going to particularly go make a soft serve date ice cream. It was delicious, but people went crazy for it. So those are some of the spins that
maybe if you didn't sell your salad in 10-pound bags, that people wouldn't have to make soup out of it.
It was good, Tom.
I know,
really
I'm sure
good.
it was delicious. It is. You do have to be careful.
I think it's very up to date to think about more than one way to use a product, because most people at home, that's where their biggest handicap comes from. They buy 2 pounds of carrots, they use one, and then they go, what do I do with the rest?
That's right.
And that's the number one question on anybody who cooks at home. And chefs have this advantage of having gone through this motion for a few years, 10, 20, 30 years of using byproduct or by using the product.
Go into the walk-in. What can you make?
I mean, we start with zero, go in and use what's in the fridge, as opposed to buy something that's too big to do what you're going to do. And then you get leftovers and you go, what do I do with half an onion and half a carrot and whatever? Well,
and that's kind of the trend right now, going in your pantry and just looking and being creative as to what can you use in bits and pieces and making your meal.
Right.
I'm not that kind of cook. I look at my pantry, it can be full, and I'm like, I don't have anything in here. What do I make, right? So I'm on the quick and easy site all the time.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there is definitely both worlds, but I think that it's definitely up to today to be using byproduct of anything you get. So.
And you're right. And we're all trying to be more sustainable, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to throw it into
Well,
the
you're
compost.
spending more and more money on food, which, as it should be, food should be expensive, not cheap. There's nothing good that comes out of cheap.
Okay.
But I think good food, and use it all.
I'm with you.
Jane, I'm going to make a quick and easy video of you and Thierry walking through Costco. And how do you get a snooty chef to
What do you want me to have them buy?
Well, brisket takes long. I always buy the prime brisket and the rack.
Let me choose. I'll choose what I'm buying.
You couldn't choose. You walked out with nothing.
Yeah, you walked out with a
No,
cooler.
I didn't
Jane's
have
going
to
to
buy
choose.
anything
I'm
that day.
taking the video, and we're going to have a good
He's
time
going
with
to give me
this.
some cheat notes on what I should
Don't
what
worry.
aisles I should steer you to.
When we come back in our second hour, we've got the Spice Walla folks. We've got tasty trivia, Riesling Rabbit, all sorts of things when we come back on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
This was fun. I have to tell you.
Sure.
You both are adorable. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming back.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you.
Oh, is it?
Almost did, but I wasn't sure if you. No. think of breakfast? When was the last time you had a baked egg? Ever? Isn't that good? Yeah, exactly. For 6, yes. For 2, that's kind of like
Jane, you're awesome. Thank you. Do they? Okay, so you're going to be running.
talk to this BB. Oh wait, that's a different page.
Our two, one right
Yeah.
here. Say what we
Sure.
decide. Express out how you want to break it down.
Okay. Authentic Indian cooking ingredients.
Cam's going to help.
Sure. So providing free meal to the community, co-founder.
Terry and Pam are going to run the next segments. I have to take a quick break, but welcome to my microphone, Pamela.
Ooh, goodies.
Yes. The fine folks at brought us some incredible cakes. So hang on for just a second.
Have their own mics. Check.
Ooh. I love how I'm in charge of this suddenly.
Over there, is that some...
The radio show.
I know. Mm.
Are you all willing to? Yeah. Okay, good.
John, do you want me to move? Oh, it's fine here. Huh? Oh, yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we get the mango pulp from India.
Cool. I'm so excited about your stuff. You guess since last time we saw you, you went like,
Oh, thank you. I feel like it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years
2
since we
years.
did last.
it's nice to meet rock star before they're rock star and
Aw,
then become rock star and you're like, oh my God, they won't talk to me again.
You're being
We
too
don't.
kind.
I know we
We
don't feel
don't-
it at all.
We're still washing dishes every day, so no, it doesn't.
I hate to break you the news.
That's gonna
probably,
stay.
That's probably
It's
not
gonna
going to go.
stay. Yeah.
That's just part of the decor. Once you've mentally convinced yourself, then it's no big deal to do dishes.
Yeah, exactly.
I always tell,
How are you
tell
doing?
people it's like putting your clothes on.
Yeah.
You don't think about it anymore,
Yeah.
do you?
Exactly.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis, so
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm just picking up a little oxygen in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
You know, it's not painful.
Yeah.
There's no pain. There's no bleeding. So I'm good.
That's good.
Just the end product is to change your lungs and get some new one from somebody who passed away. So you know,
Okay.
it's just the way it is. I
Yeah.
mean, but you know, there are people bleeding and crying in pain, real pain,
Right.
everywhere. So
Right.
this is nothing.
Let's rumble.
Okay, let's ready to rumble. Let's do it.
He's taller than me.
Got food everywhere.
All right, we're back, and we are so excited. We're celebrating the 5th anniversary with the Spicewalla founders and owners. And I want
Yes.
you to introduce yourself so that your names are properly pronounced, not with my New England Yankee accent.
I'm Akanksha.
And your last name?
Sinha.
Beautiful. Also a social worker, I just learned.
Absolutely.
Saving the
always.
world. Desperately needed right now.
Been
And-
needed for a while now.
Yeah. And your handsome husband.
I'm Uttam Mukherjee.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Ooh, I'm glad you said your name because I was going to say Uttam. So I'm glad you said your name.
So we're so pleased to have you and so excited for what you bring to the culinary scene in Seattle.
Thank
You
you.
call it authentic Indian street food.
Yes.
Tell us more.
So we serve, just like you just mentioned, authentic Indian street food from 2 locations. One is in Capitol Hill and the other one's in Ballard. And we proudly represent food from Delhi and Calcutta.
Wow.
And is it food that you grew up eating? Did you learn it from your moms and your grandmas?
Yes.
A little bit of everything. So I grew up eating kathi rolls in Calcutta, which is where it's from. And so that people don't get confused, it is Kolkata now. It used to be called Calcutta when I was growing up. And then Akanksha grew up eating chaat from Delhi. So that's why we have 2 types of food on the menu, kathi rolls. We have 4 different proteins in the kathi rolls, and then we have 5 types of chaat. So we kind of bring in flavors from both. But when we were first starting out, we were calling our parents, but our mothers mostly, and asking them for recipes about different things. So like the cilantro chutney, for example, I remember having a panic moment in the commissary kitchen and saying, call your mother, ask her what's happening. Why is this not coming out the way I want it to? So
Isn't that funny, those wake-up call in life when you go, I've seen my mom do this 1,000 times, I'm making it, and you go, why is this not coming
exactly,
up like it's supposed to?
exactly.
It looked so easy when they were doing it.
Right.
But then it's like, oh my God, this is so
And
complicated.
then your mother goes,
start
you did
doing-
what?
Exactly.
And you're like, that's what you did. And you're like, no.
I also feel like our parents have a knack of missing ingredients purposely so that
Oh,
we
for sure.
can figure it out ourselves. So that's also fun.
Or they don't want to give the family recipe away.
Exactly.
So they're like, oh, we
Has to be
forgot
twisted.
salt. And like, there should be salt in this.
Well, let's dig in on the kathi rolls
Yes.
a little bit. Could you explain them in more
Yeah.
depth?
So kathi, the word kathi is actually a wooden skewer. And so in the olden days, they used to dip the wooden skewer into water and then you put meat on it really, and then grill that over charcoal fire. And so that's how the kathi rolls came about. So if you go to Kolkata, they have a multi-layered flatbread called a lacha paratha, which they use to wrap around the proteins. And then if you go to Delhi, they have a thinner Romali roti, which is Romali means napkin. So it's a really thin bread. So we actually went in the middle of those two and we did a thin roti. The Romali roti was a little bit too chewy for us and the paratha was a little bit too thick for us. So we really wanted the proteins to shine. So so that's where kati rolls originate from. And we have a lamb version, a chicken version, a potato version, and then a paneer version. And then the paneer, which is cheese, we make from scratch in the restaurant every day.
Wow. And our lucky in live audience is enjoying the
Yes.
lamb and the paneer.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. And I see some happy smiles.
How is it? Wow.
So that's one half of the menu.
Yes.
And then the chaats is the other side of the menu, which is mostly inspired from Delhi street food. And chaat essentially means to lick or to taste. And so you're just taking a little bite of everything. And chaat is a lot of complex flavors that is put into one. So in one bite, you can get something that's sweet, that's savory, that's tangy, that's chili. And then it's just a mouthful of complex flavors in it. So for our menu, we have 5 different options of chaats. So we have one, which is our take on fries. We have it with our house spice. Then we have something called bhel puri, which is puffed rice, chickpeas, lentils, and peanuts. That's all mixed into a tamarind chutney.
Wow.
The papri chips that you have, the papri chaat, which is nachos chips, boiled potatoes, chickpeas, topped with yogurt, cilantro chutney, tamarind chutney, and then some chickpea shavings. And then an aloo tikki chaat, which is a fried potato patty, again with yogurt, tamarind chutney, cilantro chutney, and some chickpea shavings and pomegranates.
I just found some new Super Bowl food.
There
to
you
eat.
go. Yep. We've been trying to convince
This
people
is
for a
so
while
good.
now.
We just had the Oscars. That would have been fabulous during the Oscars.
Well, it just looks like a party on a plate.
Yeah.
With the different textures.
I mean, this
and
is a
flavors.
great kind of platter thing. You know, it's like
Yeah.
chat, chat, chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
exactly.
Going all the way. All right.
So how
Okay.
do people eat it as an appetizer or as their main
It
meal,
can
or
be
is it a
both.
snack?
It can be both. Like I grew up eating when we were going to college back in Delhi. We used to have this as a meal also. So for lunch. So a lot of customers come in and they can have a light lunch or as a snack on the side also.
Yeah, we have a chana chaat also, which is a chickpea salad, a cold chickpea salad, and that's a full meal. It's heavy, but it in terms of like it will stay with you for hours, but it's also very light and refreshing and very tangy and spicy and those kind of things. So really, it's up to you what you want to do: breakfast, lunch, dinner. Really up to you.
But I really like this chat, chat. I think this is gonna pick up crazy because
Well,
this
thanks.
is
We hope
this
so.
is exactly what I mean. Americans love snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love to eat
Yeah.
at any time, all the time, but not a lot, just a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I think this is perfect for that kind of behavior.
Thank
So
you.
this is cool.
And
Thank
it
you.
has
Happy
the
hour.
adorable little card that you made
Yes.
that tells people how to enjoy it and put it together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We put that in because a lot of people would come back and they said, "Oh, we dipped one of the nachos in the yogurt and really enjoyed it." And like, okay, not many people are familiar with what to do with it, so we came up with the card just to explain to people when they're doing it to go how to make the chaat on their own.
Nice.
All right. So when we come back, we're going to take a little break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about Spice Walla, the whole. I mean, you guys created some monster here. This is beautiful. A good monster. A good
A
monster.
good monster.
A good monster. A green monster. All right. We'll get back to you just in a minute here on Caro 97.3 FM.
And they also got the mango lashes. So before you go into
Sure. This is delicious stuff. This is not a lassi. This is just mango.
We try to make it very mango forward.
Yeah. So you
mean,
can actually taste
It's
it.
very good.
Thank you.
Mm.
How's the restaurant in the airport doing?
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking about the airport?
No.
Okay, good.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm just curious because I think the last time we flew, our gate was right across from the restaurant actually. So
Nice.
I saw that and I was like, oh yeah,
It's
he just
it's
opened this.
challenging in terms of quality and standard and all that stuff,
Okay.
but it's definitely a busy place.
You have to hire all the union employees, or you
I
can
don't
hire.
do anything,
Okay.
anything like that. I mean, I just work on the food and
Okay.
try to direct them towards a better direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who runs it for you?
SSP.
Okay. And that's a
It's a global company started in England, and
Okay.
but they have a section of USA as well.
okay.
So SSP USA is running
Got it.
that operation.
Got it. Are you
And-
happy with how they're performing, how
Yeah.
they're operating?
Oh, they're great. They're a good company, but it's a big company.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're not when you want to turn the boat, it takes a
Yeah.
little while.
Yeah. Of course.
That's a polite way.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, being in a small restaurant, independent, single owner operated place for me
Yeah.
all my life. When I wanted something to be done, I just
was-
turned around and did it,
yeah.
or said to somebody, "Do it now."
Yeah.
This doesn't behave like that at
Yeah.
all. So that's the adjustment.
I used to work for Procter and Gamble, so
Oh, wow.
so I know what you're talking
You
about.
were number
Yeah.
1,272.
Slightly different. Yeah.
Slightly different.
All right.
All right, we're back in. We're back in the kitchen at the Hot Stove Society radio show here at the Hotel Andra. Marvelous place to stay in if you are coming downtown and want to do an overnight. Great place to do a staycation.
Beautiful.
And we're continuing with Spice Waller, the two beautiful people who started that. And again, your name?
Uttam.
Otam?
Akanksha.
Akansha. That's an easy one to say.
Real
Akansha.
pretty.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for being with us.
Of course.
Appreciate
Thank you for
that.
having us.
And prior, we were talking about the food. Now we're going to talk about, first, we're going to talk about the lassi that you have here, which is to me more like a mango puree than a lassi. I mean, the yogurt, I can taste it, obviously,
Yes.
but this is really, really delicious. Definitely mango-y.
Yes.
Thank you. I mean, we pride India with having the most delicious mangoes, so we needed to make sure that it is on the menu.
So those are from India?
Yes,
Yes.
the mango pulp is from India.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Very tasty. So you started this, is this a non-profit or is it a
No.
profit?
We
It's
have
not
we have a non-profit portion of the business, but it's
Okay.
a for-profit business.
Got it. And it's called Spice Water. And you started, you were on the show 2 years ago and you were just barely started, right?
Yeah, so
How is it going?
Well, we
Great.
started we started in the South Lake Union Market 5 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and then we opened our first location in April of 2019 in Capitol Hill, and then we were lucky enough to open our second location in Ballard in January of 2021. It's been going very well. We don't know a pre-COVID or post-COVID world really. Like we've been operating in COVID
Right.
conditions the whole time. But I think we were very lucky because when starting the restaurant in April 2019, we weren't very heavily staffed or anything like that going into COVID. So I think that was very fortunate for us because we didn't have to lay anyone off, cut any hours or anything like that. So I think from that standpoint, we were lucky. Our food's geared towards delivery and takeout. So from that standpoint, also, we were very lucky. And I think,
Yeah, you were set up
Yeah.
to be able to accommodate.
exactly, we didn't have to change anything really, right?
Mm.
Like all of our food is readily packaged and those kind of things. And then I think it's been a very interesting journey to see how the Seattle customers are kind of discovering Indian street food with us. And so, we constantly get new customers, and every time they come in, they'll kind of be, awed by the food because they've never tasted anything like it, because there's not a lot of options here in Seattle like it, or actually in the country necessarily. So yeah, it's been a very interesting 5 years for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of people from India working in
Yes.
Seattle,
Yes.
living in Seattle,
Yeah.
been more American than Indian, some of them, for quite some time now. And I'm always amazed how, yeah, it is true. There is not as many good options for Indian food as you would think.
No. And if
very stereotypical food. I feel like it's mostly around like you'll hear mostly the heavy curries or sit down or fancier restaurants that are there, but
Right.
you're missing a massive part of Indian food, which is street food. And if you go to India, every corner you'll see street food there and people of all different income levels just eating and enjoying
I
it.
love the truck stop.
Yep.
Best
And-
food ever.
Exactly. And it's delicious
Yeah.
food and nutritious also. So I feel like when we started, we were deciding like, okay, which way do we go? And this is something that's very, very close to our heart because we do have a social justice mission in our restaurant and making sure that it is affordable and it is community oriented. So that way we were able to showcase Indian flavors, things that are very, very complex, and then also stay with something that's affordable and community centered.
So, in that same room, you've been feeding people who can afford to buy food, correct?
Yes.
How does that work?
So we have the nonprofit arm that Uttam was talking about earlier. It's called Bhojan, which essentially means meal or feast. And we started this. We've always been donating towards nonprofits and partnering with them before we opened the restaurant also from our market days. But when COVID hit, we started partnering with Mary's Place and then Community Lunch down in Capitol Hill to provide 200 meals per week. So we're up to about 40,000 meals
Wow.
as of right now. And there's still a need that has been there since the pandemic and even before. So every week on Tuesdays, Uttam and I go into the kitchen and cook vegan meals that are nutritious, following all nutrition standards. And then our community partners come and pick them up for the people who are food insecure.
Bravo to you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
please. It's very sensitive to open a business today and think about that first. That's very cool.
I think Akanksha is being a little bit shy because one of the reasons why we started this business with the social justice aspect is because Akanksha is a PhD in social work. And so when we started it, we wanted to make sure that both of our passions were closely intertwined in the business. So right from the start, like our business model and everything had this built in to make sure that we could afford to do this. And we've found amazing partners who help us distribute the food. And we've got amazing customers who constantly donate to the program. And then the Good Food Kitchen program also donates towards the program. So we're hoping that we just don't ever have to stop, because as we grow, I think there'll be more pockets of people that we can find that will have this need.
Right. Yeah, the need is there, no
Yeah.
doubt. The need keeps on growing, and unfortunately and sadly.
Yeah.
But it's great to have people like you getting around and figuring out solutions. And you should do seminars on other restaurants on figuring it out
Yeah.
how to
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, many people don't do it because they're afraid of, they just don't know how.
Yeah.
So it's a book to write.
I mean, I think even much more simply, honestly, we don't reject anyone that comes to the restaurant also. So like we've got a lot of unhoused people that walk into our Capitol Hill and our Ballard location, and we give them a chicken roll and,
No questions
no
asked.
questions asked. And they usually just come to the counter and say, do you have anything that I can eat? And then, we've had some very heartwarming stories where the next day they've come back and said, that's the first meal I've had in weeks, and thank you so much. And even just on Tuesday this week, someone came in and said the same thing. So I think that's the very basics that some restaurants can do in Seattle. And then, our program is just a little bit more involved than
Right.
that. But,
So tell us again where the restaurants are located. And the name of the restaurant is Spicewalla.
Yep. Name of the restaurant is Spicewalla, and we have two locations, one in Capitol Hill
Where?
on 15th Avenue, and then the other one is in Ballard on 56th.
And if anybody wants to help, they can volunteer and come and cook with you on the
You
day
can-
where you
You can donate
donate?
So you can donate on our website. We have an option of donating. If you're buying a meal, you can donate there or come into the restaurant and donate towards Bhojan.
and 100% of those donations go towards just the food cost. Like we're not paying for any overheads, people, anything like that. It's going straight to the food. So I think it's $2.50 per meal. So
Wow.
if you want to donate $5, that's 2 meals that you've paid for.
well, congratulations on the well done job and on the beautiful growth. And we look forward to seeing you in another 3 years and see where you're going.
Thank you.
Face of the New York Times.
One day.
One day. You're going to get there. I have the feeling. Your heart's in the right place.
Congratulations and thank you again for coming on.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having
Appreciate
us.
it.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, our palpable excitement for spring vegetable and a recipe we love. Recipe we love.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
You're
it's
gonna
all
see.
about what Pam likes around here. All right, coming up next on 97.3 FM, Cairo.
Would you tell the guests about your packaged sauces
Yeah.
that you
Oh,
sell?
yes. So we-
Did we miss something?
Well,
Didn't miss necessarily, but
You guys forgot
Just
to
in
talk about
addition.
something?
no, that's fine.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So we had two chutneys, and we serve both of these in the restaurant on different menu items. One is the cilantro chutney. Again, it's garlic, cilantro, onions, and then a few spices in there. And then the tamarind chutney, which is sweet and savory. We use that for the chaats, and then the cilantro chutney for the kati rolls.
any questions before we let them go?
Yes. Yes. And then Ken's Market also. Yeah.
Ken's Market in Greenwood. And then they're in Indian grocery stores on the east side also.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having
making
us.
the trip
Of course.
downtown.
Like the poo-poo. Cha-cha, something like that.
We have a whole idea chat over.
I could see some great ads for that.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. Absolutely. Keep it up.
Many days, many days.
Many days.
I love it. Like
Check, check.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Chef.
Hey, no problem. No problem, Tom.
So the gist of this segment.
Are you talking about the rabbit or talk? No, we're doing the veg first. Yeah, and then I announced the vegetable.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. The rabbit with spring vegetables.
Oh, the rabbit is with it. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Right. Got it. Jus, more like a jus. Yeah.
And it's like how to do an inspiration.
Right. Nice and light.
Yeah.
Almost soupy.
No, it is soup.
I said almost.
It is soup.
Right.
It's just the broth.
Yeah, like a good jus. Like, no, I get you.
The recipe's in here.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever read this book or not, but
I have it at my house. I use it to stop the door from opening. You hear that, Tom?
Guys.
New potatoes. I love new potatoes.
All right, let's party.
and it's 25 years ago.
Wow, you're old.
Isn't that crazy?
I took
25.
the inspiration for the segment from his Riesling Rabbit.
You know what? You can't convince me any different than this is
It's
delicious.
only good for a doorstop.
He said, if you read my cookbook, I use it.
20 years ago. I wish.
When was it?
I wrote it in 98.
Oh Jesus! How old is my cookbook? My cookbook must be
25 years ago.
Whoa.
Time flies when you're having fun,
Welcome
even
back.
when you're not.
We are back in the Hot Stove Society on Cairo Radio. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk some Riesling Rabbit. You know, Chef Pamela, who writes our show sheet, our producer, wrote in my notes here that I wrote this recipe 20 years ago, and there's a couple inaccuracies to this.
It wasn't a rabbit.
What a surprise.
What a
It wasn't a
surprise.
rabbit. It was a wild boar.
And I used Merlot, not Riesling.
Exactly.
So what's the title of the recipe?
The title of the recipe is Riesling Rabbit with new potato and spring vegetables.
Spring vegetables. And so I think conceptually the idea is that we're going to talk about how to make, it's still winter, right? It's still a cool beginning of spring. How to make a spring braise that isn't necessarily heavy like pot roast or reduced, like, you know, how you always reduce sauces at
Sure.
Rovers and places where you take the broth and you reduce it to a syrup. This is just more of celebrating the brightness and lightness of spring.
Yep.
So the inaccuracies of Pamela's show sheet are one is that she said I wrote it 20 years ago, which in fact, I never wrote this recipe.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Is there plagiarism?
It's not plagiarism. It was a recipe we served at the restaurants. But Matt Costello, this is a Matt Costello
I
recipe.
love that guy.
He's still chefing, I believe, up on Whidbey Island, or
Where?
in at Langley, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
Oh, yeah,
he-
yeah,
isn't he
yeah, yeah,
still
yeah,
at
of
the
course,
Inn
of
at
course, of
Langley?
course.
Yeah, I
Yes.
believe he's still there, and he was the inspiration behind this recipe. And this book, my first book, is now 25 years old,
Congratulations.
not 20 years old, and it's in its 15th printing. How
Wow.
about that, huh?
I
about
still use it.
Water says
Amazing.
15 printings in a year, but in 25 years, I'm catching up to her
15
first.
printing is pretty good, sir.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Oh,
Pretty good.
before we go on to the rabbit, I've been meaning
and before we go on to that, you know what 15th printing makes?
Yeah.
First editions that much more valuable. I'm just saying. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, the other recipe that I always make from here is the crab salad with the grapefruit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I've made it twice recently, and it's the first time I ever supremed the grapefruit, and what a difference it makes.
What did you do?
I just put the whole, I just,
Oh,
Oh,
so,
oh,
Heathen.
come on.
You heathen. You.
I just never thought what it,
Despicable you.
You know what's funny is
what a difference it makes.
you've been in this business and around chef for 30 years, and you just figured out to segment the grapefruit or whatever. I was
50
trying to
years.
be kind.
I just started doing it.
And so
and
what?
it has changed
so here's
my
the question.
life.
The real question is, I mean, you know how to supreme. You've known how to supreme forever. So what guest did you finally feel was important enough to have to your house that you would make the effort to supreme your grapefruit?
Bruce Miyahara.
There it is. There it is. Bruce
All right,
is a
all right, that's a
foodie.
good point.
She would never do it for me, but Bruce comes over.
I'm supreming.
Yeah. So anyway, Riesling rabbit. So chef, this recipe is kind of based on this idea that you take a nice court bouillon or light chicken broth, or
Mhm.
take your rabbit trim and make a little broth out of it, and you cook and braise the rabbit until it's almost fall off the bone,
Sure.
tender.
Right.
And then you pull the rabbit out and you let it just kind of rest in a warm oven or under foil. I have a nice little warming area at my house that can just sit on top of.
Cool.
You strain that broth. You know, it has the classic onions, carrots, celery, bay
Right.
leaf, thyme,
Right.
a little bit of this and that, juniper berries. And then you strain that and you let it reduce by half. So if you wanted to take that to a syrup, you could. So let's just say you start with 4 cups of liquid, you reduce it by half to 2 cups. Now you've got kind of an enriched
Correct.
broth, right?
More
Instead of-
concentrated, yeah.
it's just more concentrated.
Yep.
And the Riesling is in there, and you're just taking it down to this lovely little light springtime broth. And you're cooking your potatoes, little new potatoes. That's your favorite potato,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, I love new potato.
Yeah.
But I like them rissolé. But in this dish, that wouldn't work because you're doing a braise, so that
Uh-huh.
wouldn't work. So you just put,
Rissolé? What is that?
well, you would part blanche,
Uh-huh.
and then you saute them in duck fat.
Oh,
or in,
yeah. Yeah.
or in butter, or
Yeah. There isn't a human alive that wouldn't like that.
Exactly.
They might think they wouldn't because they heard duck fat, but if they sat down,
Yeah.
they would melt.
once they realize the duck fat is just to cook it, not to eat it,
Yeah.
they would definitely love it.
So then you could do that even
Yeah.
in this dish, but the idea is you kind of compose a nice little entree bowl. So at least probably a 1-inch well in your
Sure.
bowl. You can't do it on a plate. An entree size bowl, and just kind of layer it in there, right? You got your cooked potatoes. Right now, Savoy cabbage is out. It's delicious. I love it.
Gorgeous carrots.
Pamela ate it at my house last night. Isn't that cabbage? I love the texture of it. I love everything about that cabbage.
Yeah.
The carrots, but I don't like little sliced carrots. I want a knob.
Chunk.
I want a chunk of carrot
Yeah.
or parsnip or turnip or all this kind of stuff that we're kind of coming to the end of the season on, but
Sure.
has lived in your root cellar. Rutabaga
Beets.
would work.
Beets.
No beets.
Yes, beets.
No beets, sir.
Or beets. A good
beets.
red.
If you look at
earthy beets.
the cover of that book there, I believe I wrote it.
Yeah, I
and
know,
it
but
has no beets.
like
in it.
everything else,
Yeah, the no
But-
beat.
but
red
like-
slash
but like
time,
everything else
no
in life,
beat.
it's okay
And
to
you
make
know, but
adjustment.
delicious ruby charred greens would be
Uh-huh.
nice in there, or even
Spinach.
the blanched ruby charred stems.
Yeah.
So many people throw away those delicious stems off their chard, and they're really good roasted,
Absolutely.
just like any roasted vegetable. Really good. So anyway, so that's what the Riesling rabbit is about. Is there another?
So to me,
You could do that with a chicken, but how would you
no,
approach
to me,
that?
what I was going to say is it's one of the greatest memory of my childhood is my mom taking the pressure cooker and opening it and putting butter, a chunk of rabbits on Sunday morning, and coloring those chunk of rabbits, muscadet, which is a dry white wine, same concept as the dry Riesling, garlic, lots of garlic, onions, carrots, and thyme, lots of fresh thyme and bay leaf, and then and potatoes, and then covering the whole thing. 25 minutes, you get a rabbit that's cooked. Then you let the pressure out, and you let it sit a little bit to rest,
Mhm.
and then you just serve it just like that
With the broth.
with the broth,
Yeah.
which is like a jus. By the time you start with the braising liquid, by the time you're done, you're about halfway done. It's like a heavy jus,
Right.
and you end up with that, and it's so delicious.
I would perceive that you would have a hard time not reducing that further.
I always like for
All of a
more
sudden, you just
flavor.
went to a heavy
You
jus
do right.
now.
Yeah.
You're right with that.
Yeah.
Often, most of the time, I feel like, you know what? It's good, but you can make it gooder.
With
By
another
taking it down,
nugget of
reducing
Just
it.
take it down a notch a little
And
bit
then
more.
put a big knob of butter in there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not gonna kill you, just have it.
Well, it's not unlike what we had for dinner last night in our kind of New England boiled dinner, although my mother would do her boiled cabbage dinner really in a brazier, and it would literally be a boiled dinner. And,
Right.
we had ours last night where there was a bit of broth left from the baking and the stew of the meat, but not a lot. It's
Right,
mostly
and-
duck
and-
fat and butter.
For that, to me, that's different. I wouldn't reduce that. I think that's fine.
Right. Yeah.
I don't need to reduce that. That's totally fine. But when to me, the only reason I want to reduce more is just to acquire a little bit more strength on on the sauce at the end.
I get it, but you got to
the
stop.
jus.
You got to stop it. You got
I
to
know,
stop.
I know.
yourself.
There are times where
It's a spring broth.
if it's a boil, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But if it's a braise, I'm just going to go a little bit longer, just a little bit.
Pam, this seems right up your alley. This kind of cooking.
Exactly. The lighter sauce, the emphasis on more vegetables. It's something I'm looking forward to.
Mhm.
And one thing you
Changes.
can do to the jus, if you have put half garlic clove in there, the whole head cut in half,
Mhm.
and you color it, and then you braise it, you can take it at the end and squeeze all the garlic out
Yeah.
and blend the whole thing with the jus.
Yeah.
You have
Not
a
for me,
nice little
chef.
garlic.
This is a spring. It's called a spring
Yeah.
rabbit braise. The things that are in my particular recipe, like pearl onions, everyone peels them in a different way, and people often don't buy them because they're a pain to peel.
They are.
But if you just drop them in like a strainer and into boiling water for about 20 seconds, and the peel comes off so much easier. You've probably had
Absolutely.
your minions doing that for you for years.
No, we've done it that way always
Mhm.
because it's the easiest way to do it. I mean, I've done it where you didn't put it in boiling water. Some people go, "Oh, you put it's like 10 seconds in boiling water."
Yeah.
The peel comes out like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you
So-
slit it so that you've got it?
No,
No. You not
No,
like-
no.
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 And the other thing you can do is, they do sell them frozen peeled and ready to go. You
Nice.
can cheat.
they do
Yeah, you can buy
frozen peeled pearl onion.
pearl onions. Yeah,
They
Jolly
have it.
Green Giant, dude.
I haven't mean that.
Yeah.
So now that this recipe is 25 years old,
Mhm.
are you still happy with the balance and the way you constructed it?
Absolutely.
Or would you do it differently
No.
now?
That's funny. No, I would definitely do because like I said, it's a spring braise. It's
Right.
not. I'm not looking for what Terry wants to take it to. Naturally, that's
Oh.
just his nature. That's just your nature. I get
No,
it.
but I
But
would,
it's a spring braise. It's supposed to be light, and the Riesling is supposed to be able to show up a little bit, which is why I wouldn't do like the pureed garlic or something. Because
Yeah, I want that Riesling
delicate
characteristic.
Riesling characteristic. And you just don't use Riesling very much to cook, so it's a nice alternative. All right, you know what it's time for?
Mm-mm.
Food for thought, tasty trivia brought to you by Rub with Love Spice Rubs, made right here in Ballard on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
I'm glad Sean is on top of it.
I didn't see it, but I maybe I saw it.
You saw it.
Yeah.
All right. Are you still feeling it? Then tell me your name again. Heidi. Come on.
Heidi,
up,
you're a little
Heidi.
too confident for our taste.
You're not staying for trivia?
Are you?
Oh.
Brain Damage Island?
Oh.
I lived there in the late 70s. I know.
I love Bainbridge.
There is a pain. All right, enjoy.
Thank you for coming in.
You are guest of honor.
You can listen to the rest of the show on. Just go. No, just turn on your YouTube.
Okay,
Just
so
turn on
Heidi, you
YouTube
have to
and
get
you'll be live.
right up. Listen to this
Hot Stove Society Radio.
and listen to this. You hear the difference?
I do.
So you got to get right up tight to it.
How do you
Okay.
feel?
You should be super nervous right now.
Are you nervous?
Shaking in my boots.
I'm sorry. What is your name again?
How come you
Heidi.
volunteered Heidi?
You know more about music, it sounds like. Good. All right.
This is perfect.
Heidi, for playing, you get to go to our gift shop after the show and pick 3 rubs to take home with you as
Thank
your
you.
prize for losing today.
We're setting up the game already.
I
I hope you
sense
heard the
that.
word you're losing today.
I'm pretty clear. Yeah.
Okay, good. So if you have the right question and you're still, make sure you don't answer.
You're gonna give me hints, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
If I know anything about this show, I know Pamela front loads the questions.
Yeah.
Easy to hard.
They're wacky today.
Were you really going home after dinner last night to work on the questions?
Yeah.
Oh my God. A dedicated soul.
What if I showed up without trivia?
Well, a lot of times it's done.
It would be
before dinner.
mutiny on the bounty. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll try that next week. You've been playing with it? Oh, okay, good.
Well, if you can't get it to work, where does that leave us? You're the technical director. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society show. We're here in downtown Seattle. It's time for our Food for Thought Tasty Trivia Challenge, brought to you by Rub with Love Spice Rubs, made out in our warehouse in Ballard. Come by and see us sometimes. We also have a serious pie out there. It's super, super tasty. Rub with Love is available at grocery stores and specialty stores around the Pacific Northwest, like Town and Country Markets, PCC, the markets in Anacortes and Birch Bay, Gemini Fish in Issaquah and Cle Elum, or Husky Deli in West Seattle. It's also available in 6 countries. Did you know that? 6 countries.
Amazing.
Amazing.
As it should be.
As it should be. What do you have for us? How do we play this silly game? And who's our winner and player and loser and all that kind of thing?
Well, we're so honored to have Heidi Jacobson Watts, guest in the audience today, that's competing with Tom and Terry. Each of the 3 players are getting 5 questions, and someone's going to get the most right.
She's already said she was going to kill us, so we're done.
I'm still in my spring vegetable mode, so
Okay.
all of the questions revolve around nettles, peas, fava, radishes.
Well, she's an attorney, so as long as they don't involve incarceration, jail time, suing, anything like that, then we should be good.
We should be good.
Are you a foodie, Heidi?
I am.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yes.
Pea shoots.
Pea shoot. Oh, pea shoot.
Very springy.
Chef in the Hat,
Go
number
ahead,
1.
let's do it.
Is this true or false? The spines of the stinging nettle contain histamine and formic acid. As a result, they normally cause pain under contact with human flesh. But when they touch tissue that is already in pain, these chemicals act as a counter irritant, reducing discomfort.
That is
true or-
absolutely true.
It is absolutely,
Absolutely true, yes.
And they taste terrible.
news.
No,
We're
it's
moving.
very grassy.
Number 2, which of the following is not a variety of edible garden pea? Oregon sugar pod, sweet success, meteor, Feltham first, or sugar snap?
I think Meteo sounds like it's not even a pea.
It is a pea.
Is it?
Sweet success is not.
Okay, is that a tomato? What is that?
It's in my
It's
kooky
made up.
brain.
See, you have mind melded with Pamela.
I know. I'm like, sweet success.
Number 3, which has more vitamin C? 1 serving of peas or a large apple? Vitamin C.
I'm gonna go with the apple. I have
It's-
to go with the apple because it's so much bigger than the pea.
I know.
I
but
mean, a
it
serving
has
of pea. What's a serving of pea? How big is?
about a cup.
About the size of a large apple.
Does that?
You win. I was picturing the size of a serving
It's
of
the
a pea,
peas.
like much smaller.
Um,
Oh yeah,
True or false? Fava beans are one of the world's most powerful nitrogen fixers.
absolutely.
Absolutely true.
It's used everywhere too.
Once they have
as a-
flowered and
as a
produced
winter crop.
beans, the fava bean plant then releases nitrogen into the soil as it dies back. This process naturally enriches the soil, providing food and energy for the next crop. And finally, on December 23rd in Oaxaca, Mexico, is the Night of Radishes. And it's a celebration featuring carved radishes that they make into scenes. What holiday scene is the most popular to create with these radish carvings?
The Christmas. It has to be related to Christmas. So the nativity scene.
Exactly. How'd you do? 4
I
out
did
of 5.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Strong.
Just
start.
above the medium.
All right, Heidi.
Heidi,
Well, thank you for playing.
Heidi, you only get 2.
True or false?
Just kidding.
A variety of nettles produces the most breathable natural fiber.
True.
Exactly.
Who
It
would
is
make that
true.
up, Heidi?
Right?
Nettle
Why would you even
fiber
mention that?
is able to absorb and release moisture better than any other natural fibers. The fiber has been called Nordic silk because it has a dim shine. Number 2, multiple choice. The record for eating the most peas with chopsticks in 1 minute was set by Janet Harris in Sussex, England. How many was it? 200, 3,200, or 7,100?
In 1 minute?
1 minute?
I'm going to go with the first one.
Yeah.
200.
It was the last one. 7,100.
That's some
She
mad
just, like,
chopstick skill.
She must have held
I
the
w-
bowl like just
I
shoveled
was
them.
I was trying to look
How
for
can you
her.
have that? That's
I've got to find the video.
Yeah, we gotta
and I'll
see
share
that.
it with you.
Wow.
This one is multiple choice. It is believed that peas that are boiled with onions and spiced with cinnamon can do which of the following? Build muscles, act as a powerful aphrodisiac, or eradicate a headache? Peas, onions, and cinnamon.
I'm going to go with eradicate a headache.
It's a
Aphrodisiac.
powerful aphrodisiac.
Absolutely.
I never get near chef
I've
when
used
I'm
it
eating
before.
peas.
I've used it before.
Powerful.
You know, if you use a
Very
cinnamon stick,
powerful.
it can be a pea shooter.
The fava bean is nutritious and high in a few fundamental minerals. Which is the highest, the iron, the zinc, or the manganese?
Manganese like the pig or magnesium?
Manganese.
I'm sorry, zinc, manganese, and
Iron.
I'm going to go with the manganese.
Iron.
Of course it was.
It's iron.
Wow, we like Heidi a lot.
Yeah.
Heidi, I was kidding when I said 2. I mean, you don't have to hold on to
And-
that.
And finally, 5, radishes are a great low-cal snack. How many calories in 1 cup of radishes? It's very low, but
you have
double
any example?
digits.
Do you have any example?
I can give you multiple choice.
Yeah.
Is it 11, 19, or 25?
That's really low.
It's really low.
I've been doing so well. I'm going to say 19.
Yeah!
Yeah. 2 out of 5. Look at you.
My guess is you would have gotten that no matter which number you said.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Heidi. What will
Thanks.
you have for Heidi?
2 out of
2 out
5.
of 5. Okay, I'm sure I can lose to that.
Well, we haven't heard the question, but yeah, that's the most.
Tom Douglas, this is true or false, please. In mythology, the Danish believe that there are elves buried wherever nettles grow.
Absolutely, because Elvis nettles are my favorite varietal.
It is, in fact, true. Which area is the largest producer of peas for freezing? This is multiple choice. The UK, the US, or Costa Rica?
For freezing.
Peas for freezing.
Well,
Costa
the UK
Rica.
uses a lot of peas for mushy peas,
Yeah,
but I
they-
think they're dried peas that they use. For freezing, UK.
Yep. Number 3, what is the proper etiquette for eating peas?
Use a big bubble.
Obviously,
straw.
chopsticks. You can get a lot down with chopsticks. The proper method, I would say a teaspoon.
Is that etiquette? No, that's an implement.
Oh, etiquette.
Mhm.
I will say 1 at a time.
The correct answer is to squash them on the back of your fork.
That's ridiculous.
But I did watch some videos where a lot of people said you should just push it on to sticky food. But I like
Run
the
them into your
squish-
mashed potatoes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Those are the people who know how to eat. Okay.
Number 4, this peeling fava beans is considered an experience that offers calm and focus.
That is
A Zen
BS
practice.
right there. It is a
It is
pain.
traditionally done by women sitting in a circle with an apron full of freshly picked fava beans resting on their laps. Hours of preparation and a lot of chatting. Do you agree that fava beans are vegetables that preserve culture?
Sure, I would say that, but I would also agree that you always give that job to your worst enemy because I buys favas from Charlie's Produce. And he came over to the farm for dinner, and that's exactly the job I gave him. I said, "This is what it's like buying fava beans from you," and I made him shuck every fava bean.
I know, but you just counter indicated the Zen.
Yeah, exactly. You counter the Zen.
You didn't say about Zen. You just said something about is it a tribal?
You're
should we
not
leave the
getting
tribal
that one.
tradition?
You have to
No.
be in a Zen. You definitely have to be Zen,
Zen.
to go and peel fava beans. Lots
You
of
guys,
fava
you,
beans.
you don't know what you're talking about.
And finally, about 7 million tons of radishes are produced every year. What percent does that represent of the global vegetable production?
I don't know, but here's what I'll say about that: is that I want to know how many actually make it to somebody's mouth.
Right.
Because usually you use one or two, and then the rest kind of rot in your
Yep.
produce drawer in the refrigerator.
Not
So I'll
included.
say what percent of? I would say it's 1%.
It's 2%. So you were dang
Oh,
close.
we're gonna give it to him. We're giving it to him.
Okay.
4 out of
Thank
5
you
for Tom
for
Douglas today.
playing.
Thank you, Heidi. Have fun in the
Thank you,
gift shop.
Thank you, Heidi.
You were
Thank
awesome.
you.
If you want to be part of the show like Heidi, you can join the community on YouTube Live at Tom Douglas & Co. or buy a ticket to join us here in studio at hotstovesociety.com. The show is produced by Pamela Hinckley. Sean McFadden is our technical producer. And our talented editor at Cairo is Sean Don't Call Me Del Torre. If you miss any episode of the Hot Stove Society, you can go to Cairo and listen via podcast or just subscribe with your favorite podcast app or watch us on YouTube.
Thanks for listening and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Everyone, including Annie, to be quiet for 1 minute. Unlike the rest of the show, this has to be total quiet. Hi, I'm Chef Tom Douglas.
And I'm Thierry Roturo, the chef in a hat.
This afternoon on the Hot Stove Society radio show, we talk about the 5th anniversary of Spicewalla, Costco quick and easy videos with Jane Shucklin, an upcoming event featuring women food bosses at the W Hotel, and spring vegetables with rabbit in brothy Riesling braise.